Welcome back to my channel, The Coins World. Today, we're traveling back to the year 1940 to uncover the fascinating story behind the Liberty 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another everyday nickel, but its place in American history and numismatics is far more significant than many realize. The year 1940 was a time when the United States was on the brink of monumental change. While the nation had not yet entered World War II, the effects of the global conflict were being felt strongly. The American economy was recovering from the Great Depression, and industries were shifting gears to support war efforts abroad. This changing landscape influenced not only politics and economics but also the country's coinage. The Liberty 5-cent coin of 1940 features the enduring portrait of Thomas Jefferson, America's third president and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The design was introduced in 1938, replacing the long-running Buffalo nickel series, created by artist Felix Schlag. The Jefferson nickel represented a more classical and architectural vision of American identity. On the obverse side, Jefferson's profile faces left. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1940 surround his portrait. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia, a symbol of his intellect, innovation, and connection to American ideals. Above Monticello is the Latin motto "E pluribus unum." Below it reads Monticello 5 cents and United States of America. The year 1940 saw the continued production of this iconic design. This was only the third full year of the Jefferson nickel series, making early examples like the 1940 issue historically important for collectors. Production occurred at 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each leaving its mark on the coinage of the era. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, at this time produced the largest number of 1940 nickels. Denver coins bore the D mint mark, while San Francisco coins were marked with an S. Together, these issues reflect the scale of coinage needed to support a growing economy still recovering from economic hardship. In total, more than 176 million Jefferson nickels were struck in 1940. Philadelphia produced approximately 176,485,000 coins. Denver struck around 43,540,000, and San Francisco contributed about 39,690,000. These numbers show the massive demand for coinage in daily transactions as the economy regained momentum. What makes the 1940 nickel especially fascinating is its position at the crossroads between peacetime coinage and the dramatic changes that would come during World War II. Just 2 years later, in 1942, the U.S. Mint would alter the composition of the nickel, removing most of the nickel metal and introducing the famous silver wartime nickels to conserve materials for the war effort. The 1940 Liberty 5-cent coins were still made from the original composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This metal blend gave them durability and a distinctive silvery appearance, perfectly suited for circulation. Because these coins predate the wartime silver issues, they hold a special place in the series. Collectors prize the 1940 nickel not only for its historical timing but also for its design quality. Early strikes often have sharp details in Jefferson's hair, Monticello steps, and the lettering, making high-grade examples visually striking. Coins that were well preserved can display a beautiful, almost satiny luster. During the 1940s, the nickel was an essential part of daily life in America. It was used for transportation, fares, small groceries, newspapers, and countless other everyday transactions. These coins moved through countless hands, silently witnessing the build-up to America's entry into the Second World War. The Jefferson nickel design itself was part of a broader trend toward honoring founding fathers on U.S. coins. Following Lincoln's cent in 1909, Jefferson's nickel solidified the practice of using portraits of key American figures, a tradition that continues to this day. One interesting fact about the 1940 issue is that many coins were struck with exceptional clarity. Felix Schlag's design, while elegant, was sometimes criticized for weak strikes in later years, but the early issues, like 1940, are often better detailed, making them favorites among numismatists. The value of a 1940 nickel depends heavily on its condition and mint mark. Circulated examples are common, but coins in mint state with full steps on Monticello are far scarcer. Full steps refers to the complete, sharply struck steps on the building, a sign of an excellent strike. collectors are willing to pay significant premiums for these coins. Over the decades, millions of these coins were spent, saved, or tucked away in coin jars and bank rolls. Many were lost to time, but enough survived to give collectors a wide variety of conditions to choose from. The story of the 1940 Liberty 5-cent coin is also intertwined with America's cautious stance in the early years of World War II. The country was supplying allies through programs like Lend-Lease, while public sentiment was still divided on entering the war. Every coin minted in those years represents a nation on the edge of global transformation. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC often certify these coins, and top-graded specimens have appeared in auctions, achieving impressive results. High-grade 1940 nickels with full steps have sold for thousands of dollars, reflecting their scarcity in such pristine condition. Welcome back to my channel, The Coins World. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating history of the Liberty 5-cent coin from the year 1953, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and historians alike. Behind this simple piece of metal lies a rich story of America's post-war economy, cultural transformation, and numismatic evolution. By the end of this detailed journey, you'll understand why the 1953 Liberty 5-cent holds such an important place in coin history. The year 1953 was a remarkable period for the United States. The nation was moving confidently into a new era after the turbulence of World War II and the Korean War. Industry was booming, families were growing, and consumerism was on the rise. Amidst all of this, the United States Mint continued its steady production of the Jefferson nickel, which had replaced the Liberty head design in 1938. Although the coin is popularly referred to as a Liberty 5-cent, its design features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, symbolizing the ideals of liberty, democracy, and leadership. The Jefferson nickel design was created by German-born sculptor Felix Schlag, who won the competition to design the coin in 1938. His winning design depicted a left-facing Jefferson modeled with precision and elegance alongside the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse, Schlag illustrated Jefferson's Monticello, his iconic Virginia estate. This design became a staple of American coinage and was used continuously for decades with minor modifications. By 1953, the Mint's operations had become highly efficient, producing millions of nickels annually. The Philadelphia and Denver mints were primarily responsible for striking the 1953 coins. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint used the small letter D on the reverse to indicate its production. No nickels were minted in San Francisco that year, making the Philadelphia and Denver issues the primary varieties. The 1953 Jefferson nickel was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the standard metallic composition since 1866, except for the wartime years when silver replaced nickel to save the metal for military use. This composition gave the coin its distinct silvery appearance and durability. In the early 1950s, coin collecting was gaining momentum across America. Post-war prosperity allowed many individuals to take up hobbies, and numismatics became a favorite pastime. Collectors began searching their change for older or rare coins, often keeping nickels in particular because of their distinctive design and the potential to find earlier dates in circulation. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 46 million nickels in 1953, while the Denver Mint produced over 59 million. These large mintages make the coin relatively common in circulated condition today, but high-grade examples with sharp strikes and full steps on Monticello are much scarcer. Full step details. The 1953 nickel fits neatly into this broader series, offering both accessible and challenging opportunities for collectors at all levels. One of the most interesting aspects of this coin's history is how it reflects American life. Coins are often overlooked as simple objects, but they are silent witnesses to history. The 1953 nickel circulated through the pockets of workers, students, veterans, and homemakers during a transformative decade in American history. Economically, the 1950s saw the rise of suburban living, the growth of car culture, and the expansion of consumer goods. The nickel played a role in daily transactions as vending machines, jukeboxes, and parking meters all accepted nickels. Holding a 1953 Liberty 5-cent coin is like holding a piece of mid-century American life in your hand. The Jefferson design itself underwent small modifications over time, but the core concept remained the same until the early 2000s, when the Westward Journey series temporarily replaced it. This long continuity makes 1953 coins part of a larger beloved tradition of American coinage. Collectors who find a 1953 nickel today often examine its surfaces closely. Coins with minimal wear, original luster, and sharp details can be worth significantly more than face value. In high mint state grades, especially with full steps, these coins can command notable premiums at auction. Grading services such as PCGs and NGC have certified thousands of 1953 nickels, and top population examples remain in demand among registry set collectors. Registry sets are competitive collections in which participants aim to assemble the finest possible examples of each coin in a series, and the 1953 nickel plays a role in that pursuit. Beyond its numismatic value, the coin carries cultural weight. Jefferson's image on the nickel reinforces his status as one of the most influential founding fathers, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and a symbol of intellectual leadership. The production techniques of the time were evolving, with the mint improving its machinery and die technology. However, compared to modern coins, the 1953 nickel retains a distinct handcrafted character that many collectors find appealing. Each coin tells a slightly different story through its strike, luster, and wear patterns. Over the decades, countless 1953 nickels have been lost, damaged, or melted. The surviving examples that remain in excellent condition are now historical artifacts representing a bygone era. Collectors treasure these coins, not just for their monetary worth, but for the tangible connection they provide to history.